I've always said that you can learn everything you need to know in life from watching an aquarium, because every personality you'll ever meet, there are animals and fish that share those different personalities. We identify the fish, we give them cute little names.
With the aquarium trade, these fish are caught, they're collected, moved through a supply chain into the United States, and then consumers purchase those. Consumers often don't know where their fish are coming from, and they don't know how they're collected.
Millions of saltwater fish are taken from their natural habitat each year to fill aquariums all over the world. The industry has a dark side, a result of little oversight and regulation.
Most of the fish coming into the U.S. are legally acquired, but there is a proportion of fish that come into the United States, and we don't know what that proportion is, that are certainly illegal. And they're intermixed together. It's not possible for even the person who's importing them to know which fish have been collected properly and which fish are not.
Some saltwater fish can be bred in captivity, but most are caught in the wild because it is difficult or even impossible to raise them in tanks. The supply chain usually starts with fishermen in tropical seaside villages across Asia, places like Bali and Indonesia.
Tasik ya.
Fisherman Made Partiana spends each day catching fish to bring to the local exporter, depending on the few dollars he gets for each catch to survive.
Ikan hias dari tahun 1997, setelah selesai sekolah di SMP, karena tidak ada biaya lagi, saya langsung terjun ke aktivitas nelayan ikan hias pada saat itu. Pesanan, ordernya itu datang dari eksportir ke pengepul. Nah, dari pengepul itu akan memberitahukan ke nelayan, ke saya, ikan-ikan yang bisa ditangkap, jenisnya apa saja, jumlahnya berapa, dan ikan apa saja yang tidak bisa ditangkap. Laut itu sangat luas dan open access, jadi kita bisa beraktivitas selama aktivitas itu mengikuti kaedah atau mengikuti aturan-aturan pemerintah seperti sekarang, ya, seperti tidak menggunakan potasium. Kami melakukan itu dengan kami menangkap ikan hias dengan jaring dan alat-alat bantu yang jauh lebih ramah lingkungan ketimbang potasium cyanida.
Most fish are collected with small hand nets, and they're caught one by fishermen. And then there's also this issue with destructive fishing, like cyanide fishing. Most people are familiar with cyanide as a poison, and so fishermen can squirt cyanide around the reefs and paralyze the fish to pick them up. If a fish is caught with cyanide or in an area that's prohibited, then the fish would be illegal. But it's not possible for the consumer to really know which fish is which, because they don't have a tag like your clothes have on them that tell you where they come from.
A large number of fish caught with cyanide die, and it is also destructive to the environment. Countries like Indonesia banned its use in 2004, but experts say it is difficult to detect as fish move through the warehouse quickly to be ready for export. There is no way to determine whether fish were caught sustainably, taken from restricted areas, or captured with banned practices such as cyanide fishing. Millions of saltwater fish are exported into the United States from Indonesia and other countries. Once it enters the United States, the fish are handled by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
We monitor the import, the export of wildlife that includes saltwater fish. The amendments to the Lacey Act basically make it illegal for something to be exported illegally from a foreign country into the U.S. If it's against their law, then it becomes a violation of U.S. law. When it comes down to it, the onus is on the importer. The importer is the one that needs to pick the exporter that is exporting animals correctly, complying with their nation's export laws and wildlife conservation laws as well too.
Consumers or importers or wholesalers or pet stores are concerned about how they interact with the Lacey Act and making sure that they're complying with that. Really is knowing where the animals are coming from and knowing the status of those animals is very important. And that requires supply chain traceability, which it doesn't exist right now.
Once saltwater fish clear inspections, they are picked up by importers who distribute them to fish stores. At this point, it is up to store owners to determine the quality of the fish.
Because sometimes they have to send those bags for 24, 48 hours. You have to make sure that whoever's on the other end is putting their time and their work into it and they know what they're doing. And then on top of it, collecting the right fish. And that's not something that you can just develop in a day. That was years of working with people and finding the right people and understanding that.
It takes a lot of effort. It takes a tremendous amount of knowledge to be able to catch fish and move fish through the supply chain safely. People often just don't know where their fish come from, or the fishermen that are involved in catching their fish. And that's the part, I think, where the public and the hobbyists particularly need to know more about their hobby.
But I could spend 4 hours a day just looking at each tank. You learn the effect of collecting. I don't want fish that are not collected sustainably because I won't be able to get fish tomorrow if I buy them today.